Meet two radio hosts who have been hearing directly from their listeners. Bill Press, host of The Bill Press Show. How did you come up with that name? And Hugh Hewitt, an MSNBC political analyst and host of The Hugh Hewitt Show. I don't know how he came up with that name either. But anyway, first to you, Bill. What are your listeners saying? You have a Democratic listener base.
I was just going to say, first of all, I have a progressive base, Democratic base, so you might not be surprised to hear. But the people that I'm hearing from, they're tough stories to listen to. These are people like who showed up at the town halls, people who finally found government to do something that they can use, something that helps them, and they're angry. First of all, they like it. They're using it. They tell these heart-rending stories about members of their family they could never get care for before or for themselves, and now they do, and they're angry that this could, and worried that this could all be taken away.
Do they not see the costs going up?
Well, this is the first of all, most of these people have their subsidies. 75% or even higher percentage of people who signed up in the exchanges have the subsidies. So this is the first time in their life, we don't understand that maybe, those of us who are lucky to have health insurance, this is the first time in their life they have ever had health insurance for their families, and suddenly they see it flying away.
Hugh, what are your listeners? And I take it you don't have Bill's listeners.
Oh, they do. Bill and I have been working together for years. They all listen to me to find out what the truth is. Bill is a good progressive, but the fact is that in the Republican Party and in the conservative movement, and all the votes for repeal of Obamacare will come from the Republican caucus, it's set up very nicely, and callers know that President Trump can swoop in and do a deal here. He has to give the hardliners some changes. He has to give them, for example, across state lines. He has to make sure that that the essential benefits regulations of Obamacare that drove the price so high is pared back. But for Republican wets like Cory Gardner, Rob Portman, Susan Collins, he has to change it so that the tax credits are scaled more towards the poorer people and the older people. So the changes that will come in the Rules Committee will make it work, I think.
Well, Hugh, I know that the CBO, I mean, it's sort of like predicting snowstorms in D.C. and also the polls last summer who's going to win the race. But here's what I don't get is that it says that in 2026 all these people are going to be uninsured, and a lot of them are going to be poor people. And when poor people, they get sick, and I've said this several times during the show tonight, is that when they get sick, if they have a heart attack, they're going to the ER. They're not going to reject them. They're going to treat them. It's going to be very expensive. Somebody's going to pay for it. It's either the hospital or the taxpayer, or you're going to pay in higher premiums, or somebody. So there's sort of, you know, like, I don't get where the Republicans are going to take care of these people, because we are going to take care of them.
Well, we do, and in fact, I think you're very wise to point that out, Greta. American healthcare has never abandoned the poor, the halt, and the blind, the lame, whatever. We will take care of people. I think what Paul Ryan and what the president are aiming for, and I think McConnell, is, the leader in the Senate, has also agreed with this, if you grow the economy fast enough by getting rid of the Obamacare burdensome taxes, you'll be able to pay for a whole lot more health care as opposed to worthless health insurance, which actually doesn't deliver health care. It just gives you a piece of paper that makes Bill happy to hold, but doesn't actually make anyone well.
No. Look, can I just point out, first of all, that's the Easter Bunny myth, that if you get just lower taxes on the rich, that everybody's going to be fine. It's all going to trickle down. We've been waiting for the trickle down for 100 years. But you can't escape the fact that there are, you know, President Trump, says that Obamacare is collapsing. It is not collapsing.
Well, there are some communities where there's only one insurance provider. I mean, there are a lot of people who are not happy with it.
You and I could poke holes in it. Look, it is not perfect, but there are 11 million people who signed up in 2017 for coverage, despite all the talk of repeal. There are another 12 million people who, for expanded Medicare, I keep repeating, these people have health insurance for the first time ever. What are you going to do? You're going to throw them all away?
I'm looking for a solution. I want everybody to have health care. I'm just trying to find a solution.
You mentioned it earlier. The solution is the emergency room when you and I pay, because we're not going to turn them away. And they're not going to have health insurance.
I mean, I'm not pretending to know the solution. I mean, I certainly can identify when there are issues with things. Here, I'm going to give you the last word on this.
The solution is to make some changes in the reconciliation process that increase the ability to sell policies across interstate lines by taxing those that are not portable, by taxing states that do not put caps on medical malpractice, tort reform, and by making sure that the tax credits are restructured towards the poorer and the older people especially at transitioning from Medicaid, so there isn't a poverty trap. There is a solution. I think you'll see it come out of Rules.
All right, one quick. I'm going to let you say this.
I'm just going to say, trust us, in other words. We'll fix it down the road.
Can I just say one thing? That trust us I get from Republicans and Democrats. That's a bipartisan trust us.
You should not trust it from either one.
I shouldn't trust it. I've been here long enough. Hugh, Bill, thank you both. And coming up.